Hey guys, I thought I would bring you up to speed on some things that I'm doing here. I want to show you how I actually record an audiobook. Take you through basically a real brief chapter that I'm reading. One of the new clients I have right now wrote a medical book. So it's kind of a dry read, but they're very, very short chapters. So I thought what I would do is take you from beginning to end to just allow you to see what it is that I do to record and edit an audiobook. And it's very easily shown on a video like this. So what I'm doing here is we're going to start a new um, audio file. So we're going here and we're going to put in, I copied and pasted the name. Of course, with this, you want to take out the dots because when the dots save, um, it doesn't work very well or very nice. So we're going to start off with a clean palette. That which you just saw on my screen was just the previous chapter that I just recorded. So I'm going to show you literally what I do to record. I'm going to see if this works because I have a 3-monitor system set up. So this is the text, and I just kind of moved my camera over. This is the text that I'm going to be reading, and you're going to be able to see the waveform identified over here as I'm recording in Adobe Audition. So that's why you kind of see me looking off, because I'm looking at the Adobe Audition over here. Then straight in front of me is the text that I'm reading. Off to this side is just another monitor that I use from time to time for whatever, but not using it today. I think this will be good for you to learn, especially if you're an indie author that wants to get your book recorded. There's some things, indie author or author, publication house, whatever, and you want to do your own books as opposed to hiring someone like myself out to do the book. There's some general things that you're going to need to know. So what I'm going to get into, and bear with me for a few minutes here, I'm going to start the recording. You're going to notice that the first thing that I do when I hit the record button is that I let a few seconds just of dead air roll out. And I'll explain that later in regards to why I do that. But here we go. Ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Get my mouth ready to record and read. Here we go. A brief history of EHRs. Before the year 2000, the thought of creating medical records using a computer is more than half a century old. The EHR's origin can be tracked as far back as the 1960s, when large academic medical centers and some government agencies began considering the idea of computerizing medical data. The University of Utah, Harvard University, the Mayo Clinic, the Department of Veteran Affairs, and the Regenstrief Institute were among the famous pioneers of EHR-like systems. Unsurprisingly, the need to comply with reimbursement requirements is what drove the development of information systems that digitized healthcare data. Most of these enterprises systems, then called Hospital Information Systems or HISs, originated in one of two ways. One group started off as patient billing systems and then functionally One group started off as patient billing systems and then functionally extended to capture just enough clinical information to get the bills out the door. For example, Siemens Medical Systems, now a part of Senior. For example, Siemens Medical Systems, now a part of Sinner.com, and HBOC, bought by McKinsey.com, the other group sprouted from best-of-breed niche departmental systems that gradually started to cover neighboring workflows, ending up with enterprise suites. Examples include Cerner.com, Meditech.com, and Epic.com. Many of the early systems Many of the earlier systems stored information as Many of the earlier systems stored information as unstructured text, which made it difficult to analyze. The importance of structured records and automated querying was set forth with the introduction of the problem-oriented medical record concept. The importance of structured records and automated querying was set forth with the introduction of the problem-oriented medical record concept by Lawrence Weed in 1969. The next several years saw the rise of higher-level concepts like controlled vocabularies and decision support. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Now, what you can tell is that I made some errors. I didn't read through the whole chapter because I know it was getting boring. Anyway, what you can see is where I made the errors. All of these places where I did the that's like my marker to go back and check. Now, why I wanted to record this couple of seconds of basically room noise is what this is. The reason why you want to record a couple of seconds of room noise is because, and let me move my whole thing over here so you can kind of, I don't have to look to the side to show you what I'm doing. Alrighty. Okay, the reason that I recorded this dead air is because you want to take all of that room noise out of your recording. That's why you do it. And in Adobe Audition, which is the platform that I use to record with, all you do is you highlight those few seconds. And what you want to do is capture the noise print. And then once you do that, you've got the base for what you want to take out of your entire recording. So you highlight the entire recording like I just did by double clicking in Adobe Audition. You go up to the effects bar and you go down to noise reduction. And you want to do the noise reduction process. And so I have all of my settings set in there. You can pause the video if you want to go back and check my settings. And then what you want to do is apply that. And you'll notice after it's applied, it's going to take a couple of seconds here to go through. You'll see all the spaces in the audio that have that noise are going to be taken out. And that's what you want to do, whether you're recording a commercial or whether you're recording an audiobook. And as you can plainly see here, all that noise is gone. And so when you're recording a book, a audiobook for ACX, one of the things that's important is, and what I'm doing here is I'm just adding silence to that so it takes every last bit of noise out of that. But ACX, at the beginning and the end, they want about at least 2 seconds of dead air to go between chapters. So that's what I do at the beginning and the end. When you're recording an audiobook, breaths are not important to go in and take out unless they're really dramatic. I see a couple of spikes here, and what I'll go in and do is just delete those spikes that are there if I see them. And so then what you have here, here's where I made a mistake in the audio. You can see there I made that mistake. I hope that's recording in the video. I hope it is anyway. So I checked to see where I began again. One group started off, so I'm looking for that. And I usually try and start at the beginning of a sentence. So all I did was I'm starting at the breath there in the beginning of my speech, going through and highlighting everything that basically I want to take out. And that's how you edit it. At least that's how I edit it. Some people do what's called punch and roll. If they make a mistake, they'll immediately go back and correct it. I like to just read through and then go back and correct my mistakes as I see them. Okay, for example, there it is. Okay, so I know that I have to highlight all of that up to where I actually spoke, and then there it is. And if you go back and you play it, see, it sounds perfect. And that's pretty much what you want. And so then you go through that entire audio, and every mistake that I made, I just go through and take that out by highlighting and correcting it or putting in the correct parts of speech. Okay, so I did that twice. Yep, so I have to go all the way over there. So we'll grab that and we'll take that out, and then that sentence will flow. It's flawless. I mean, it's flawless when you go through and do it like this. I have to find the beginning of that sentence, which is right there. The importance of. There we go. And that's about it. And I don't know what that was, but I'm just going to silence that, and I'll go back and finish um, my audio editing once I get back there. I can move my camera. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. Okay, I just did something I didn't want to do. So I'm basically just going to have to undo that because I think I deleted the entire thing, which I did. Repeat last command. What is going on? Now I've got to figure out how to get that back because it won't let me undo. Am I still recording something? Don't think that I am. No. All right, right there. I should be able to undo my last command. Edit. I'll just have to figure that out. But at any rate, I'll figure that out later. You can see how I go through and I edit my audio for an audiobook, which, I mean, if you're an author and you want to get your book created, this is going to be a hopefully a good lesson to show you how I do what it is that I do. Now, the last step that I do, and I can't, for whatever reason, I can't go back, which is not making any sense to me. The last step that I do to create my audio is, or finish my audio, finish that chapter is basically all I do is I've already taken out the noise. So what I'll do is go to my effects and I'll put some EQ on it, and I've got some EQ settings. And what I would do is highlight the entire waveform and apply those settings to the entire waveform, and then also go back into the effects rack and I would go to amplitude and compression. And what I want to do is normalize everything to -3 dB, or yeah, -3 dB is what it is. And that's basically it. Once I'm done, I save, and then I upload that audio file to the audiobook site, which ACX, I'll show you what I've been doing here. This is the ACX site, and you can see the chapters that I've uploaded there. And I was in the middle of recording the next one. And so once I do get that recording back, I'll go and finish recording that chapter and then go back and upload it. If you've got any questions at all you have to do, oh, by the way, if you're an author or an indie author, you want to make sure that you do go to acx.com. acx.com is the platform that you're going to use to get your audiobook created. If you want a narrator like myself to narrate your book, that can be done. If you want to narrate your own book and have a studio like mine to produce it, basically take all that noise out, make sure that it's set to ACX standards, then you can do that as well. Or you can do the whole piece yourself if you understand the audio production side of it. But if you're an indie author, a lot of times, and I say if you have indie before your name, money is tight. So if you can learn these skills, and I mean, if you're a novelist and you've got several characters, and I've narrated books like that as well, if you can pull off that acting part of it to narrate the different characters, that's going to be outstanding. But if you can't, you're going to want to hire someone to do that for you. This was a very short read. I made a deal with this particular client of mine that was a return client that I did it for $60 per finished hour. The book is going to be about 5 hours long. So $300 is what I'm making on this particular short book. But if you've got a novel that is, an 11-hour read, normally you'll find, this is what you'll find. Narrators that will narrate your book for a royalty fee where they split the profits with you. But be in mind, that is rare unless you're an established author and you've got sales to back up what you're doing, because no narrator wants to get nothing for doing the work, especially on a book that long. When you narrate a book, even though it's 5 hours long, let's say like this book is 5 hours long, 4,600 words. It's not 5 hours of work. It's not 5 hours of me sitting here reading. 5 hours translates into probably 15 to more like 20 hours of work with audio editing and making sure that it's mastered appropriately. And that's where some costs come in. A lot of narrators will start at about $100 per finished hour. They'll go up to $600 or more per finished hour, depending on the book. This is why it can get kind of pricey if you want to get a narrator to do your book. Let me just see here. Can I go straight to just me? I don't know if I can go to straight just me or not. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But at any rate, if you can record your own audiobook, whether you're a novelist or whether you're a business person that has created a business book, um, having these certain skills and having that certain knowledge is key for you to save some money probably on getting your audiobook created. If you can record it but then want someone to just master it for you and edit it for you, that's going to save you some money. If you have the editing skills and you can do it yourself, it's going to help you out as well. You can check out my website at earlhallstudio.com. If you've got any questions, you can always email me at earlhallvo@gmail.com, and I would be happy to answer your questions, or you can leave them below wherever you're seeing this video. You guys have a great day. Take it easy.